Hey, what's going on? So I wanted to make a quick video on ghost producers and honestly just why people dislike ghost producers and why people dislike artists that may use ghost producers. And one thing that I just want to talk about real quickly in this video is that the more people you have on a project, the better the product. So for example, if I had myself working on a song, if it was myself and 3 of me, the song would be way better if it was just me. And say for you, if you were working on a song and there were 3 of you, the song would be way better. Now, I can see a couple of aspects, and I see it from both sides. So say you're a fan of Martin Garrix, and it comes out that he hasn't made a single song of his in the past 5 years. They were all ghost produced. He didn't even touch it. A part of me really wouldn't care because the songs represent his brand. They represent him. He's built up a brand. He's the face of the brand. You have to keep that in mind. And it is a business. And guys, I always see comments and it just angers me sometimes where people will say oh, their ghost producers did a great job. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's not just him. Wouldn't you want, say you were releasing a song that will get 25 million streams. Would you not want as many people looking at that, giving feedback, adding what they think is right, necessary, to make it sound better? Would you not want people to do that? I sure would. Absolutely. It confuses me a little bit. I feel like it may come from it, and I felt that way as well. I'll be honest. I felt that way as well when I first, probably my first year or two. I was all ghost producers, Alan Walker ghost producer. But I'm if I were getting songs with 100 million streams, I would love to get as much feedback as producers that are better than me, and just a different I was gonna say eyes, but different ears, fresh ears on some songs. They can give fresh feedback. For example, I just thought of this. If you were to, and I actually recommend everyone to do this, just get a group of people, ideally in person, almost just make a group, make a band, but just be a group that makes music together and releases it. It will be way better than if you have a solo project and you do it yourself. And yes, there are cases where people do release, they make all the music and everything is just them, vocals, production, mixing, mastering, it's all them. And I think that's brilliant. I still love when people do that, but I still believe that it could sound better and just more interesting maybe in just some aspects, to where if you had more people on it, it would actually be a better product. And it's, once again, guys, if you're a fan of, say you're a diehard fan of Martin Garrix and it came out that he hasn't made a song in 5 years, I could see why you'd be upset. I could see that because, you want the person that you see on YouTube and Instagram, you want that to be the guy making the music too. I can see why you'd be upset about that, but at the same time, music just represents the artist, and Martin Garrix is he's on the road so much. I think he made a post it was his first time being home for New Year's in 10 years. That's ridiculous, guys. So keep in mind that those guys are always on the run too. They're always on the road. There's, just if I were getting 100 million streams per song and touring all over the world, you better bet that I'm going to get help on some of my music. And I was messaging with my friend Chris Shetzeff. I can't say his name correctly, but he made that great point saying that you almost want that. Why would you, you're so busy doing interviews, things like that, building the brand, that music, it still represents you, and you should still have a direction of it, and you should still be a part in it, in my opinion. There should never be a song that you don't touch. But, music is almost the second thing. It's still the head of your, it's still what you're releasing, but you are now the brand. So just keep that in mind, guys. And I actually heard an interview the other day of this guy named Steven Pressfield. And he's a really great writer. And I read one of his books called The War of Art. And he mentioned that I think every single writer has an editor. They have an editor. and that just clicked with me. Like, and he said like that's the editor is almost more important than the actual writer, because the editor just makes sure everything makes sense and they just give you feedback on everything. Why would you not want that? Why would you not want that? Why would you not want somebody to say, hey, I think this is good, but I actually added this, or I think I actually rearranged this a little bit. I don't think that story makes sense, or I think the arrangement, I think you could actually take that kick out there and maybe filter it down and bring it up. Like, just things like that, guys. Things like that, like, and I think that might be a little bit different than ghost production, I would say, because both ghost producing is, I think like the general term is like, yep, I'll buy that song for $20,000. Let's release it. I didn't even touch it. I just listened to it and I liked it. Even then, it's still like it's still like you gotta have a good ear for it, I guess. But yeah, guys, like if I were like DJ Khaled, for example, I just think of him playing the guitar, that meme. But if I were DJ Khaled, I would say, hey, give me this guy with the best, like, this guy's great on drums, or this guy's melodies are so good. Yo, you're mixing, I want that for this song. If we can get that mixing and him on the melodies, and then I'm getting a guitar player from like South Africa, that would be a crazy song. And just things like that inspire me. Now, for like, if you're a solo guy and you have no following, you know, you have to develop your skills as well. But you could be the executive producer, like Tiesto. Do I think Tiesto makes his own music? I don't know, maybe. I'm sure he has a part in it, like David Guetta. I'm sure he has a part in it and he's got his own thing. They're the guys who say like, hey, Brooks, let's get in the studio together. I have this great vocal. I think you could do great on it. I think you could produce a absolute masterpiece. So yeah, just quick thought on ghost production. Honestly, like, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I always saw things on the internet saying like, oh, ghost producing, like, it's bad. But, you know, I see both sides of it, so let me know what you guys think.